And softer than expected producer inflation out of the United States saw the Johannesburg Stock Exchange rally on Wednesday. But to give us a sense of what's moving the markets in early trade on Thursday, Makwe Masilela is the founder of Makwe Fund Managers, joining us now for a quick markets update. Mr. Masilela, thank you for your time. Let's begin with that overall assessment of how the markets are performing in early trade. Include in that analysis the rand, which continues to extend gains somewhat.
You know, we have managed to open down today after having some good runs of the previous 2 days or so. Just to put it into perspective, you know, we're almost halfway the month of November, that is yesterday, and the S&P is up 7%, the Dow is up 6%, and the JSE so far is up 7%, even though today it opened down. And all because the door has been opened that given this low inflation or cooler than expected inflation numbers, not just only in the US but also in the likes of Europe, and some stimulus coming out of China, that interest rates might be lowered sometime next year. So markets have been pinning their hopes on that. And we've seen that the rand today, unfortunately, the dollar has managed to regain some of the ground, and commodity prices not doing that great. That's negative for the rand itself. But what's driving the rand today is mainly the US dollar, which has been gaining ground because some of the traders believe that interest rates cuts might not happen sooner, as soon as we expected that to happen sometime next year.
Yeah, let's pick up on what essentially was big news on the financial side of things in South Africa yesterday. Standard Chartered pulling its appeal from the Competition Appeal Court after agreeing to pay that massive 42 million rand fine. Those hearings are continuing today. Are markets reacting at all to these proceedings?
Not really, and maybe just for now. But remember, this fine, the guys tried to pay it in 2019. I think it was 18 million, and the Competition Commission refused. And then they followed the other year, increasing it to 24 million. Still, they refused. So the guys have been indicating all along that they are willing to cooperate, even though they said it will also help them to give them the transcripts, though they won't testify because the guys who were involved by then as employees have since resigned. But the likes of Citibank, remember they paid almost 70 million. But it's worrisome because it impacts me and you. South Africa is a net importer, and most of the things are priced in US dollars. So the minute anyone starts manipulating the rand, then that's bad for a mere consumer.
Let's talk about what Business Day is reporting this morning, and that is a gold leaf which has failed in the Johannesburg High Court to get Sassin to hand in those bank statements. Give us your sense of how this story is likely to develop.
You know, ordinarily you do get your bank statements. They email them to you or they post them. But the guys claim that they are also on the old computer. Same applies to Sasfin saying, listen, we don't have that by now. If we have to reconstruct them, those statements won't be reliable. And all because these guys are fighting their case with SARS. SARS have since said to them that you guys, as Cliff, you owe us almost 3 billion because of the under-declared taxes, VAT and other taxes. And we know the very same Sasfin is not that they are clean themselves. We know when early this year they've been mentioned with other banks as well when it comes to that issue about the gold trading that is involving our neighbors. But so far the court said the Sasfin they don't have to provide that. But it's a story that I think the guys will still take it to the higher court, to the appeals court, because now they're just beyond in the higher court in Johannesburg.
Let's conclude the conversation with company news. Life Healthcare's results for the year, which ended 30 September 2023. Those numbers are out, and it would seem that shareholders are smiling all the way to the bank with that healthy dividend. Talk us through their performance.
Definitely, a 10% increase in dividends, I guess, is decent. Remember, these guys are the second biggest in South Africa after Netcare, and these guys are the preferred provider by most of the medical aids. So as a result, there's been a strong demand when it comes to the usage of their services, that is their hospitals, and some of the complementary services. And that itself helped them to deliver what they call a strong paid patient day growth of almost 9.5%. Hence, we've seen revenues going up by 10%, and their normalized earnings per share up almost 11%. but their overall earnings, unfortunately, were impacted by the likes of high interest cost and non-trading items like the 971 million loss they had to incur because the guys were disposing what they call Alliance Medical Group in the UK.
Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers, thank you very much for that markets update.